Hey guys, what's cracking? What's crack-a-lackin'? Is everybody doing okay? Give me a 5 for 5 and we will do this, baby. Heck yeah. I got some cool stuff to show you tonight. We've got some really cool aurora photography that was taken by some of our subscribers. Some of our longtime subscribers. Lord Kiss Freak from up in Canada. Hey, what's up, Lord Kiss Freak? Good to see you, bud. I'm getting ready to show you aurora photography. Hey, can you type in there exactly where you were at when you took those pics? They're awesome. By the way, I can't remember exactly. I need to go back and look at my the email to see exactly what's cracking there and see exactly where you were from. Well, at least I know where you're from, but the area where you took those. But yeah, so yeah, can you guys, are we 5 for 5? Hey, I turned my audio down a little bit, and the reason why, I was watching back my last live stream, and it seemed like it was just way too loud, like to the point where I was hearing a bunch of like just audio distortion, and I remember I turned it up a few weeks back, and I had forgotten to turn it back down on this particular computer. In case you guys don't know, I have 2 different laptops, and then none of them are like the best. Neither one of them are. But because I had those for a couple different reasons. You really need 2 screens unless you got a very, very big monitor to live stream, especially when you're doing it on your own. Because you got to jump back and forth. You guys see what I do. Anytime I switch to a different image, I have to click the mouse. I have to go find it, and that's why I squirrel sometimes, guys. I'm just trying to get everything in line, and especially if I rush out to try to do a live stream, But if everything is good with the audio, I would love it if somebody could tell me and make sure that the audio, if you guys are hearing it to be too loud, please tell me that. I'll bring the dBs down on it a little bit, turn the gain down something, and we will get to do that. So, yeah, Stephanie, what's going on? Kathy, Smooth Rock Falls, Northern Ontario, Canada. There you go, guys. And you know what, guys? We're just going to start with that, Chris, if you want to. I think they're very cool photography, and he sent me, guys, this is Lord Kiss Freak. This is the one I showed you guys, and I should have pulled it up, and I can't do it now. He works some construction stuff, and I'm not going to go into exactly what his job is, but it was the first time I had ever seen aurora with a backhoe in the background. It was very cool. It was very unique, and just to be honest with you, it was frankly amazing to me anyway. So I'll just say that. Now, so let's go ahead and let's bring those pics over here, and we'll just take a look at them, right? Let's make sure my audio is going to stay the same. Is my audio still good, guys? I think it is, but yeah. So these are from Chris from Lord Kiss Freak, and let me look at the exact location again that he typed in there. Oh goodness, let me go back here a little bit. Okay, maybe I go back a little further. Hold on a minute, guys. Sorry, I just want to make sure I get the location right. Message retracted. Okay, I see what you did there. I got you. We're just going to call it Canada, guys. Okay? That's what we'll do. I get it, because I know he probably doesn't want his exact location out there for everybody just to be blasted onto. All right, but check that out, guys. This is awesome. I loved this one. Yeah, I really, truly did. This one here was just amazing to me. It's one of those that you just can't, you know, you can't really, how can I say this, reproduce something like that, you know, and you know all the AI stuff we have nowadays. But look at that. It looks like it's just raining aurora on your head. You know, it's just so cool to me. Ain't that cool, Ilea? I knew Ilea was gonna love this. She sent me a couple pics too that she took, and I didn't want to show it because I want her to be able to show it on her channel. If she's going to do that or not. I wanted to give her the chance to do that before just throwing something out there. But I do want to show you that. Now, again, guys, let me, let's go ahead and we'll cipher through. That's not the only one. Okay. Okay. Go to that one. That's cool too. I mean, all this stuff is just awesome to me. That's all I can say. I probably should have put it in a slideshow, but I'm clicking every button here, so cut me a break, guys. Rookie time, right? But check that one out too. He's got one here with the street lights like this is here. Let me, I'll go down and find out here in a minute, but it was my favorite, I think. I'll point it out to you here in just a second when we get there. And again, guys, you know, those of us that live down, you know, in the States and down towards mid-latitudes and, well, for this storm, equatorial latitudes, you know, we don't get to see aurora, like, right above your head, right? You got to go outside and you got to look north, if you're in the northern hemisphere anyway. But, you know, the further north you are, believe it or not, guys, the people that were up in, like, Alaska in certain areas and very, like, Iceland, like, really close to, you know, inside the Arctic Circle deep, right? They actually had to go outside and look south during this storm at times. I've seen some reports of that. And I've talked about that before. That only happens in the strongest storms, okay? Now, I want to rephrase that, too. This was a very strong storm, its impacts were. But if you look at the flare, and if that's all you're going to look at, okay, fine, whatever. But it was an X3 flare that caused the, and don't get me wrong, it was multiple CMEs that kind of combined, and that's why we got what we got. But the Carrington event itself was multiple CMEs that did something similar. Okay? It arrived in a similar fashion. Now, I'm not sure if they had a bunch right behind it like this one did. But this storm that hit us came in just as, you know, as fast as that one did. I mean, it hit us that hard. As far as, like, taking us straight into G5 storm levels. I was very shocked when that happened, just so you guys know. Because you guys knew I was telling you guys, hey, probably get to a G4, maybe a G5 after, you know, 3 or 4 of these hit, that kind of thing. That's not how it happened. We had what I'm calling the triple cannibal CME. That was the initial blow. We had those 3 CMEs, right? They all kind of combined into one. They don't, like, technically do that. I'm not going to go into why. But it's basically polarity and push and pull and this and that. And you get the snowplow effect in between each one of those CMEs, which means that you got a buildup of highly charged particles that basically is creating another CME in between those CMEs. So if you think about it, if you got a triple cannibal CME happening, that's 3 CMEs involved. You have a CME, you have a shockwave, a CME, a shockwave, and then another CME. That's 5. That's 5 shockwaves, like immediately. Just one right after the other. And that's exactly why we got what we got, okay? And I know there's a lot of argument in our community right now on why it went as strong as it did. Okay, and it's a very legitimate conversation to have, because nobody is falling on the same side. You know, you got people that have been talking about, you know, magnetic pole reversals and excursions and what's going on with our magnetic field. And I'm just throwing these things out there for you guys. I'm not saying I'm on one side or the other. I'm just telling you the information. And then you got other people saying, well, you know, this is kind of what we can expect, this, that, and the other. Our magnetic field isn't necessarily weak enough to really be doing this and doing that. I tell people, go look at the data. I'm not going to be on one side or the other because, frankly, guys, I can't be. Because it doesn't, to me, this is how I view things. I'm seeing what's happening, right? So I'm going to report to you guys the actual conditions that's going on. And when that happens, you know, we get these big events. Now, before this all hit, I gave you my opinion, right? And this time I was pretty correct. I'm not always like that. And that's why I don't, right? Even before the G5 hit, you guys heard me, if you go back and listen to the previous live stream, you would hear me kind of holding back a little bit. But in my heart of hearts, I really thought we were going to get to a G5. And we were going to get there fairly quickly. But I didn't think that it was going to be that quick. And I didn't, you know, G5 storms, yeah, we see stuff, aurora, way far south. But seeing it in Puerto Rico, and I talked about this a little bit yesterday, you know, you take in consideration everybody has a phone in their hand, right? And a lot of us, even down here in the States, during this big storm, had to use the phone to actually see the aurora. It's there. You just can't see it with your eyes. So our phones are picking things up, right? And everybody has one in their hand. That's one thing to take in consideration. The other thing on the opposite end of that, right, is light pollution has greatly increased since the bigger storms of the past. So did they cancel out each other? I don't know. All I can tell you is historic data will tell you we broke aurora records last year. You know, reports of seeing them far south. It just is. Now, we haven't been reporting aurora since way, way back either, okay? These are all fairly, you know, in the grand scheme of things, fairly new data points that we're collecting data on. So we also have to take that into consideration. And I can promise you right now, well, let me flip to the next picture here for Chris. Sorry about that, guys. But I can promise you guys that nobody's ever going to fall in the same place. And I can promise you that there is not one person that's talking about any of this on either side of the argument that is going to be 100% correct. So it's good to assert your opinion. It's good to be confident in what you're saying, but it's also good to step back and look and have an open mind about what somebody else is saying. Take in consideration all the information and then draw your conclusion. And then tell people your conclusion, and then don't argue about it anymore. That's just where it is. Why go and do all that? It doesn't help anything. It really doesn't. That is an ego getting in the way when you do that. It really is. And it's on both sides. So we got to be open-minded, but we have to be real at the same time. And again, it's not just one person and this person, or 2 over here, 3 over here. It is a clear line, and that's what's wrong with a lot of things in our world. Nobody wants to compromise on anything that they believe. They don't want to entertain anything new. And frankly, guys, science is founded on always questioning everything, including what we already think we know as fact. We have to continually reprove that with everything that we do. That forces people, they better have an open mind. If they don't, then they're not doing what they're supposed to. They're asserting an opinion, trying to make the math and the science wrap around what they're telling you is the truth. Just let it be what it is. And that's why, like, again, guys, you know, about 3 or 4 years ago, I changed to just doing nowcasting stuff. Because I was tired of arguing with people. And I realized that I shouldn't have been doing that. And I didn't do it publicly, like, back and forth. But at the end of the day, guys, we see it a lot. Hey, happy birthday, Arleah. Trinity, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, sister. For real. Okay. So, yeah. So these are very cool pictures, Chris. You didn't think it was going to spark that kind of a conversation, did you, brother? Just saying. But there is a, you know, you guys, it's not hard to find, guys. You can go watch the arguments all you want. And at the end of the day, when that's happening, it ends up being not about the science. It's all about the tea drama that everybody's spilling against each other. That's what it ends up being. And that's why you guys don't hear me participate in that stuff. Because I'm not here for that. If I want to see something like that, I'll go watch Big Brother, Survivor, some stupid freaking reality show where somebody's trying to get married and they never seen each other before and they get divorced. All kinds of crazy stuff, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm not here to do that. And unfortunately, there are other people just want to try to defend and put this out there and call people names. It isn't productive. That's all. Okay. So, very cool pictures, Chris. I got a few more here. He's got you. I'm going to show you my favorite here in a minute, but this one's very, very cool. So freaking awesome. I mean, it's just amazing. Hey, this is just a very cool one. I really enjoyed this one, Chris. I mean, you did an awesome job capturing these, by the way. And then Ricky sent me some too, guys. Ricky Spence. And I'll be showing those tomorrow. I sent her an email. I'm not sure if she's in here or not. I was trying to get a location that she wanted me to use. Because I don't want to give out anybody's location unless they don't care. But at the end of the day, guys, she got some really good pics of this stuff too. But these are, yeah, man, Chris, you could almost make a job of this, brother. I'm telling you, some of the stuff that you sent me in the past is like, yeah, you got an eye for this stuff, man. You really do, and I'm not just saying that. That's something that I've thought for a minute. Yeah. And, yeah, so these are just freaking amazing. So, anyway, let's go to this next one. I think this next one's the one I like the best. And I know it's got the power lines in there, but it's also got the street lights with the kind of the glare. You know, and this is actually a good way to show you guys, hey, sunspots, when we see them on these imagers that we see, that's why you see those lights shine out and those X patterns on the sun images I show you. It's the same thing. It's an optical effect of the camera, guys. It really truly is. So, I mean, I can recreate that by simply going outside like I did when I was a kid, looking up at the street light and squinting my eyes. I used to do that I used to love to get in the car with my parents in the summertime, and we would take a drive just wherever and kind of get outside of town, but not all the way out, if you know what I mean. So there were still some street lights and stuff around. And I used to love, squinting my eyes and making patterns in my own eyeballs. You know what I mean? But that was just, me being a kid. But it's cool. But this is exactly the kind of phenomenon we see with the imaging on SDO and the other extreme ultraviolet images I show you guys. I just think it's cool here where it really looks like the aurora is raining down on your head. And this one here, this next one I'm getting ready to show you, is so cool. Check that one out. That is just amazing. I don't know, man. It just really just pushes my buttons, man. I love it. It really does. It does it for me. I mean, you know, well, we'll keep it PG here today. But yeah, you know where I'm going with that, people. I'm not going to go there, though. We're going to keep it PG. All right? That's what we do here. So let me go back to my favorite one, and then we'll go on with the little bit of the update I want to give you guys on what's going on. Okay, so that was my favorite one right there, guys. Thank you, Chris, so much. You get any more, man, please shoot them over to me. Anybody that gets Aurora photography and they want me to show it, I will. I won't, like, if you want me to use a different name, you want me to use not use your location, just kind of a region, I'm good with that too. But I also understand this is you know, technically your guys' work, and I don't want to, you know, use that without any permission. So even if you send it to me, you're gonna have to tell me I can go ahead and show it. Okay? Please put that in the email. I've had people in the past, not me, but other channels have shown Aurora photography, and they had given them verbal permission, and then they tried to rescind that verbal permission, and it made that channel just like, whoa. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get moving with the space weather here. That is space weather, but I really wanted to start with that because it was so awesome. Okay, guys, wow, guys, check it out. Look, hey, Trish, are you guys in here? Trish and hubby. Hey, Renee, good to see you. Where do I find my email? It's bluecool52@gmail.com. You can go to my about page. It's in there. It should be in the description box if it's not. But Trish, check it out. We just had another X-Flare live. See? Check it out, guys. I can't make this stuff up. Look at this. We're literally having an X-Flare right now. Again. It's probably coming from that same sunspot. I'm just going to say it, okay? And with that being said, because of its location now, it's probably not going to be giving us any kind of direct CME. Anything coming from that same sunspot's probably going to be giving us glancing blows from here on out. And I don't know if it is coming from that sunspot. I don't know yet, but we'll take a look at it here in a minute. But here is this is the radiation storm part on the poles. It's an influx of protons that causes that, guys. And we are in an S2. At least I think we were at one point, if we're not back there yet. Well, we're right on the border here, guys. It's not going to take much more. With that X-Flare, oh man, I didn't even think about that till just now. Let's go ahead and take a look at that, because if that thing flared on that side, that definitely would push those protons in the quote-unquote danger zone. That's what they all call it. It just drives me nuts. That kind of stuff just makes me just want to... Gets me upset. Yeah, this is definitely probably coming from that flare. From this side. I bet it's coming from over here. Let's update this. Yeah, we got a few more images here. So let's do that. Let's update this. This is SDO, guys. I'm not going to go into where this satellite's at, other than to say that it's in geosynchronistic orbit, and that means that it stays over the same part of our planet at all times, but it also keeps its eye on the sun. Okay, and this is extreme ultraviolet, and all that means is it's a part of the light spectrum we can't see, and they use angstroms to measure those wavelengths. Okay, so this one here is a 94 angstrom. We can't see that part of the light spectrum, so they put a filter on it, and it sees specific gases. All right, so let me pause this one too. I'm going to go ahead and just reset all these. Right there. There. But, you know, if I had to bet the farm on something, it'd be from that sunspot. So, I'll just say that. Right now, anyway. We'll take a look at it, though, just to double check, so we don't get it wrong. Okay, so what we'll do is I'll zoom in here. I wasn't planning on doing this. I didn't know we was going to have an X-Flare. So, anyway, sorry guys if I'm a little bit happy here today. I don't know why. You know, I just kind of in a little bit of a good mood. And that's okay, right? Is that all right with everybody? If I'm in a good mood, is that okay? It's not always the case, but, you know. Anyway, check this out right here. I do think it's going, that's where that other one came from. I'll show it to you right there. See that? That happened back on late in the day on the 12th and early on the day on the 13th, like right here. Right there. You see that? That, my friends, is a big CME flare. Okay? Now, that was an M flare, believe it or not. And it lasted for hours. Long duration M flare, and yes, look, check it out. There's the X flare. You see the light doing its thing? But I think I can confidently tell you that that's probably all we're going to see. And the thing of it, guys, you guys see the location here? That looks like it's being partially occulted by the sun. So what that means is that not all the X-ray are reaching us. So most likely, that's actually a higher, a stronger flare than what's going to be reported. We can't record it. We can't see the X-ray that's being blocked from the sun. So basically, that flare is actually stronger than what we're going to be able to calculate here by looking at this. Now, it's not much because this isn't on the backside completely, okay? But it does look like it might be on the backside a little bit where that flared. So we might not get all the X-ray from that, and you know. So what that means is radio blackouts for ham operators. R3 radio blackouts. We've been experiencing this for days now, guys. Check that out. Look, there's the actual flare. Okay. Well, I'm going to just rescind what I just said. I thought it was back further. All right. It is all the way on the front, so we probably did get, it is going to be reported as strong as it is. I missed seeing that. Sorry, guys. So, yeah. So, if I go and show it to you here, and this is the 131. Again, we can't see it with our eyes, but they do this so we can get these kinds of really good visuals so we can have a better understanding what's going on. And so you can see that. Now, it's not called an X flare because it makes an X pattern, okay? It's only called an X flare because that's the rating. A, B, C, M, and X. That's how we rate flares. And they rate flares by using X-ray production. Okay? The solar X-ray flux. Flux simply means moving up or down all over the place. Okay? It's not like flux you put in to solder a joint and all that kind of thing. But, yeah. That's what they use. It's fluxing. Didn't I do... I ain't even going to say that. I'm trying to keep it PG. Alright. Let's go here. So, again, guys, that just happened. Trish, I got my second. If you're still here, I couldn't tell if you were still here or not. Sorry. But, yeah. I got my second live catch here. Another X-flare caught live. So, we'll just leave it at that, right? So, this other one earlier, it produced a shockwave, okay? And I'm going to show it to you. I'm actually going to back this off a little bit to show that to you. You get a better look at it here. This is the 211, and we get to see coronal holes on this one and a lot of the corona, the atmosphere of the sun. Okay, that's why it shows the holes in it really well. So if I grab this, and you're going to see the eruptions over here, but what you're going to see is you're going to see a little bit of a shock wave just go across the whole front of the sun. Right there. Okay? Now, I know sometimes it can be hard to see, but you can even see how it really kind of unstabilizes this area over here too, because it moves. See that? Okay, so you get the flare on the right. CME, there's a CME, and the shockwave goes across, and it destabilized this enough that erupted. Okay? And then we got this one here. Okay? And we're not going to, it doesn't look like this second X flare that just happened, and I can't say for certain, but it does look like it produced at least a little bit of a CME because you can kind of see it here. Now remember, I called it the danger zone, right? That's over here on this side, and they call it because that because we're connected to the sun on this side, guys. Our interplanetary magnetic field line, basically our connection to the sun magnetically, is on this side of the sun. It's not straight in the middle, okay? And that's because of the end little spiral phenomenon. And I'm not going to go into what that is, but everything's turning, mechanics and all that. So I'm not going to go into all that right now. But just know that our connection is over here, and it doesn't stay in one spot. It's fluid. It moves. Okay? So that's why it's kind of hard to pinpoint where this thing, you know, when it crosses over that line, just to see what's going on. Lights out again? No, I don't think so, Chris. This is not, that's not a, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think this is that powerful, okay? But we can get a higher radiation storm from this. And again, if you guys remember, but that second X flare that just happened, it could push the radiation storm higher, okay? So if it put out enough protons, and I will say this, you see how long duration this one was? That's the one that caused the protons to spike and get us into S1, S2 range here. See how long duration that is? I can confidently tell you right now that this flare seems to be pretty impulsive, which means it's going to look more like this one. It's not going to last as long. So it's not going to be pushing out that energy as long. So, in effect, not as much protons are going to be going that direction. Okay? So the likelihood of us really catching a big radiation storm from this, and if we do catch an uptick in protons, we're going to see it here in the next hour or so. Okay? But it doesn't look like it's going to be that. Now, I can't say 100%, because if it was right in that exact spot, it definitely could. And I will do this for you real quick, too. Radiation storms. I don't really start paying much attention to it until we get to S3. These other two don't affect hardly anybody on the planet but people that fly and pregnant people, okay, that are flying. So, and usually at high latitudes. But yeah, so even the biological effects of an S3 storm, radiation hazard, avoidance recommended for astronauts, obviously, you know, there's a handful of them up there. Passengers and crew in high-flying aircraft at high latitudes, like I just said, may be exposed to radiation risk. Basically, they don't want pregnant women or little kids to, you're basically it's like getting an x-ray at the hospital. And that's not good, okay, for pregnant people and kids. When you're in the developmental stage, they will not let you cabin crew and all that stuff, they won't let any of those people, well, we just got up into S2 range. See that? That means that it is going up again. Anyway, they won't let the pilots and the cabin crew fly too many hours during conditions like that. Okay? So, let's take a look at this again. Yeah, yeah, see, we just ticked up to S2 again. So what that means is the protons are increasing, and it is probably from that flare. All right? So it probably did produce some sort of a CME, but we're going to just leave it at that. Now, I'll give you updates on that as needed, guys, which will probably be not very often. So let me show you this sun diving comet that nobody's talking about. Again, you can't make this stuff up. So I'm going to pause it and show it to you. Okay, this is SOHO. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll take you back here. Earth's here, satellites here, always looking at the sun. It's about 1 million miles closer to the sun than what we are, but it's from our perspective. So if I take you guys here and we will take a look at that sun diver. And is this a big deal? No, it's just a cool thing. Okay, so let me slow it down. And it's going to come in the picture right here. See it right here? And see how it's traveling to the sun? Now, here's the mistake that I did see one other person talking about this. And they tried to say that it was exploding down here and caused the sun to do what it's doing. I'm not saying that a sun diver cannot instigate things. But I can confidently tell you that thing did not explode at the time that this is happening. All right, and let me show you why. Because if you don't know how this works, you're going to get it wrong. This thing, as the sun diver comes in, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's here, right? And we'll go forward here a little bit. You guys need me to zoom in? I can zoom in some. Sorry about that. I should have done that from the beginning. But let's see if it'll let me, okay, yeah, it does. You see it right here? Daggone it. What is that thing doing that for? That makes me mad when it does that. Okay, let's do it this way. Here we go. Anyway, you see how it's going back and it's firing right there? Now look at the time frame. Look at the time here. Okay? So if you've just got this thing playing the 12th, right? And that's what I've seen happening on the thing I'm talking about here. Okay? So let me back it up. You see it coming in. Don't worry about that. That's just light coming into the camera. It got around that occulter disc, and the camera couldn't handle it. It's a phenomenon on the camera imager. Anyway, you got the sun diver here. I'm going to back it up again. And watch what happens. Okay, it's right there. You can barely see it now. Look at the time frame. 23:16. Now, also something we need to keep in mind here. There is about 92 million miles in between this satellite and the sun. So to get a clear distance of where that is impossible. We're just judging off what we're seeing, okay? Now the timing of it does kind of line up with another eruption here, but let me assure you, nothing exploded to cause that, okay? Now, I'll go forward here. I'm going to show you why. Because what was happening was they were showing just the 12th. And we got 23:38. And obviously you can't really see it anymore. But that would make sense if it's out there by the sun, right? And now watch the next image. Why did it do that? Well, it's because it flipped back over to start the run again. Beginning of the day. This is what it looked like on the beginning of the 12th. They're trying to say that that's an explosion. So I'm just trying to, let everybody understand why that's not an explosion. That ain't some big gigantic star blowing up underneath our star. Okay? That's all I'm saying. So I'm going to move on from that. But this sun diver absolutely can cause and instigate the sun to do things. Okay? I can't say that's exactly what happened here. There's no way for me to say that. I don't have any other kind of observational view of the thing to see exactly where it was at. But I will say this, that everything in our solar system, including that sun diving comet, is connected to the sun magnetically. If your naked butt was outside in space, floating around like some big pool toy or something, your left naked butt cheek would be connected to the sun with the magnetic field line. Okay? This is why it's important to understand, because when we're talking about like our satellite lines, right? This is our satellite line. This is the Australian magnetopause model. This is our bow shock. Okay, that's the point of contact. First point of contact from space weather and our magnetic field. When that gets compressed inside this, which it did during that G5 storm, these satellites no longer have any magnetic protection from our magnetic field. It leaves them completely open to any space weather. And like I just said, if you were out there naked, your butt cheek would be tied to the sun magnetically. So this satellites are also. Just saying. But anyway, and sorry if that offended anybody about the butt cheek thing. I apologize. I'm just trying to have some fun, guys. I don't want to take everything so stinking serious. But anyway, yeah, I haven't been watching the chat, so I don't know what's going on in there, and I'm not going to look at it now. I trust my moderators, and we're just going to go with that. So anyway, let's go back to the 13th here, because we are into the 14th now, guys. Okay, 13th is over, UTC time. So as I get moving here, and guys, it's Marfugel's live. I'm not sure if that's Marfugel or not. Nope, not yet. I think Axe is live. I got my notifications turned on. And by the way, guys, Trinity's going live after me. Trinity, drop your link in there. If you've got your stream set up and ready to go, go ahead and put it in there, okay? Guys, please go over and show her some love after we get done here. We all can use that support, okay? So please go over and show her some love. She's a great girl, and she puts out good content. So go on out there and check her out, okay? But anyway, that sun diver is not, it didn't explode like a big bomb or anything like that. It probably didn't even make it to the sun, guys. Okay? The sun probably burned it up before it got there. Way before it got there. So, this point of contact, when our bow shock gets compressed inside this line, it is concerning because of that reason. And I was cracking up because, we lost some Starlink satellites during a G1 storm 2 weeks in a row, right? From two different companies that were launching. This was about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, during a G1 storm both times. And they actually did blame the G1 storm on what was going on and why they lost the satellite. But that does point to, hey, they had launched in G1 storms a bunch. So for it to happen to two different companies at two separate times, a week apart, during conditions that should not have really done that, it does cause you to question what's actually happening. But I will say this too, they launched yesterday. I watched it. They put 23 more Starlink satellites up there. And they didn't have any issues. And we do have geomagnetism hanging around. So I don't know. I'm just reporting on what I see and what I hear. Okay? And what I can confidently tell you happened. So let's go back to the 12th because that's when things really, you can see this thing get compressed, right? And watch what happens here, guys. I mean, it really does. It gets inside this satellite line. It hung out there for a few. And here we go. Well, we'll probably go back another day or two when that thing really hit. Yeah, see how it started on the 11th right there? I'm going to pause it. We'll go back and I'll show you exactly, because I can show it to you right here. So here we go, here we go, here we go. Come on. Move a little faster for me there. Sorry if you guys are hearing that mouse click. But yeah, you see how that's getting inside the satellite line there? Especially there. So all those satellites right there were being exposed to direct space weather without any magnetic protection from our magnetic field. Okay? So yeah. But, okay. Yeah. Trent, did you put your, yeah, guys, somebody put her, there it is. Okay. Yeah, cool. And we're not going to be much longer, guys, just so you know. I just wanted to run you guys through this and let you guys see what was happening. I'm not going to revisit what already happened again tonight. We did get to a really high spike here. And the only reason why I want to show you guys, I do want to show you this, okay? This is the CMEs right here. This is what's coming now. This is from the eruption, the long duration flare. Check it out. Boom. Right there, okay? So they are forecasting this to hit. And there was another CME that went this direction, okay? It doesn't look like it's going to hit, at least according to this NOAA model. But this is another dense hit. Look, it's about at a 60. That's high, guys. And it's fast, about 600, 700 kilometers per second. That's about 1.5 million miles per hour. And density, what we consider normal, is 4. But that's kind of deceiving also. Ambient conditions is about 4. It's not really normal or abnormal, okay? But 70 is high, okay? That's a pretty dense hit. And if you see here, it don't even go up past 60 on their scale here. It does over here, but it doesn't here. So, typically we don't see it get that high unless we're getting some really big storms. Okay, so you can see how fast these things are moving, right? This thing fired off when? Right? It fired off earlier today. And they're forecasting this thing to hit late tomorrow. That's less than 48 hours. At least that's what it seems like anyway. Well, no, maybe it did go back. Yeah, it was on like middle of the day on the 12th. Okay, I see what's going on here. Okay, yeah. So we are taking about 2 days, 2.5 days. So it's not like breakneck speed, but it is faster than normal. The second one is the one that popped off, a few hours ago, right there. See it? This graph shows us 2 days in the past. Then it tries to forecast 5 days out in advance. I do not trust it out past about 2 or 3. Okay? And even that's kind of pushing it. It just ends up being incorrect sometimes, and it's not really anybody's fault. Okay? I'm not going to point fingers at anybody on that end of it because it's just not. It's not. It's a very hard thing to forecast when we got so many things happening. Now, something I forgot to talk about yesterday. Everybody needs to get over to Ron at Emergency Management Associates. Go check him out over there. Hey, Sam, it's good to see you, brother. By the way, guys, come back to every comment section. Leave me a comment, okay? But check out Seventh Son's Steve-O here. He leaves us a dad joke every video, and I post it. I pin it up. I pin it to the top. That way we can stay positive and have us a good laugh while we're talking about some sometimes not so pleasant topics, But this geoelectric model kind of sparked my memory here about the earthquake I forgot to talk about yesterday. We had a 6.5 down here in Mexico. I'm not sure if it ended up being higher or a little bit lower, but that is probably, all this geomagnetic storming and stuff absolutely did have an effect on that, okay? And to kind of explain that, this right here is our geoelectric field at the surface, okay? This is showing us the geoelectric conditions at the surface. Now, we don't have it for the whole planet. We only got it for United States and Canada, but it still gives us an idea, right? And Canada was just added like 6 months ago. So in this model, I've been showing you guys this model for over 2 years. And it kills me when people say that it's brand new. This is not a brand new model. They've been working on it. And I showed you guys when they were working on it because like sections of it would just stay this dark blue because they were still working on the model. But it was still here. Now they're using this to bridge a gap between earthquake forecasting and space weather's effect on that. And it's great that they're all working together here because it does. They're just trying to figure out exactly how much and when and, all that kind of thing. But, guys, to simply put this. Hey, Deep Quake, what's going on, brother? By the way, Deep Quake, thank you for all the gifted memberships you've gifted, man. I mean, you're a rock star on that. You really are. Hey, Shell Spells, good to see you. Thank you for that. And anybody else, if Full of Hope's in here, Enigma, 5G's in here, if I'm going to forget somebody, AA Ron, Genius, she's in here a lot, gifting memberships. Guys, we have a lot of fun in the membership streams, and we're going to continue to do that. I'm probably going to do one tomorrow, and we're going to be giving away, hey, Becca, good to see you. We're going to be giving away some Sunspot cards, and I've talked about that. But if you guys want a chance to win those, one of my mods can leave a link there. Go to that video and leave a comment if you could. If any of my mods remember the video, they need to go leave it under. And I'm going to be giving out some decks of cards this week. I was going to do it last week, but with everything going on, it just wasn't pertinent. I needed to be focused on what we were doing. But our magnetic field lines get compressed, okay? Just like it was showing you here, okay? When that bow shock gets pushed in, our magnetic field lines that are between, and I'm making this very simple. It's a lot more, it's a lot more complicated than the one I'm getting ready to make it. But you can picture like little bands, right? Going from the surface to the top of our atmosphere, this bow shock, right? And as it gets closer, they just get compressed and compressed and compressed. And when that happens, energy in, guys, means energy out at some point. That is basic physics. I mean, you can't get past that. That absolutely happens in everything. Energy in means energy out. Now, how the energy gets out, that's the question. And how much does it affect our, as far as like earthquakes? In my mind, yeah, it definitely can move things around, guys. I mean, how could it not? I just don't understand how people can think that it doesn't. Once they understand it's a magnetic thing, right? But this here is not magnetics. Our geomagnetic conditions, space weather, and CMEs affect the geoelectric, like our global electric circuit. And I'm not going to go into what that is either. But basically, the energy goes in, it gets really deep into our core. I mean, it's just, there's a whole lot to it, okay? But if you want to know more about earthquakes and stuff like that, Ron does a really good job of reporting on them. So go over to Emergency Management Associates. He's a really good dude. You're going to get a good attitude, and you're going to get good information. He's there every day. So, yeah. And check out everybody else, too. I always say that. Everybody has something to offer, even if they're a jerk. Okay? So, if you can get past that, you can deal with the jerk, and just look at the information and not talk to them and all that kind of thing, I suggest doing that, too. Just get all the information you can get and make up your own mind. But right now, our conditions, this is our space weather conditions. We are having some sort of a hit, I guess, if you want to call it that. That could be because of that X flare. Maybe, maybe not. Not sure. It's not like, this is our BZ, right? It's the polarity of our magnetic field, our orientation. If it gets to -6, that's when we're really susceptible to geomagnetic activity. Okay? So if it's -6 or further negative, we really take hits. And during this G5 storm, we got to like -60. Okay? It was far, we were pointed way far south. Negative. This is density, and this is speed. And everything is just really not all that high right now. Okay? That's why our conditions are normal. Okay? We're not in any geomagnetic storm. We've got a radio blackout right now because of the X flare. Okay? That stuff gets here in 8 minutes. X-ray gets here in 8 minutes. It's traveling at the speed of light. So, if you take this and we go look for this X flare, watch. See it? Right there. Okay? So, I would guess our friends over here in Australia, over here in the East, Japan, anybody over here that's mariners, Kathy, you're in here, right? This may even be reaching out to Hawaii at some point. So, yeah. Aloha, by the way, Kathy. Hey, Tiger's Eye. Kathleen, ain't seen you in a minute. Good to see you, Kathleen. But again, guys, this right here is showing a impulsive X flare. How can I say that? Watch it max out really quick and then go right back down. See that? So it was impulsive. I don't think we're going to see much of a CME. Let me show you the one CME though that is causing the uptick right now. I never did show it to you. Sorry. Right there. Okay? And you can see the protons hit after it erupts. So here it is. It's coming from that same sunspot. All right? Now, again, we got the halo effect. So when I showed you guys the shock wave over here, right? So it is coming at us. And I just showed you also the model right here. Everything is saying it's going to hit. So, yeah, it's going to hit. Now, how hard and how direct, I don't know. I look for like a G2 maybe. Maybe upper end, maybe G3. But anyway, watch what happens. Because it erupted off this direction, it's going to cross that magnetic field line I talked about, right? Our connection to the sun. And so what I'll do is I'll do this. That right there is about when it crossed. Right? Because this is an occulter disk. This white circle is the actual surface of the sun. So the eruption happened, and then if you look at the time frame, right around 9. It crosses our line right there. And now watch what happens to the imager. See that? Look at all that. Hey, Angela Bloom, thank you. Oh, Deep Quake, thank you for that. 10 gifted memberships. It's awesome. My epileptic son has been struggling with these G5 storms. Truly appreciate your work from Texas Hill Country. Thank you, Angela. Those are the kind of comments that keeps me going. I promise you guys. That's the kind of thing. That's why I'm here. That's the only reason why I keep doing this. I promise you. Stuff like that. If I didn't think I could help or add anything, I wouldn't do this, guys. So I appreciate that more than I can say, Angela. Thank you for saying so. And prayers for your son. Epilepsy is not a good thing to have to deal with, and it really does suck, and I'm sorry. Hopefully it's not severe, but prayers, good thoughts, and all that for you and your son. Everybody throw some ones in there, some prayers for her son during all this stuff. It's hard. It's hard. Guys, this stuff affects us biologically way more than what it's given credit for, okay? So I'll just say that. So let's get some ones and stuff in the chat for her, all right? We got support there, okay? That's one of those things that we can't... Hey, Ron, good to see you, bud. I was just shouting you out a minute ago. Yeah, I was trying to get everybody over there for you, man. So, anyway, Deep Quake, thank you for those gifted memberships, brother. I really do appreciate you. I can't say it enough. Renee, thank you for always trying to be here. Call to Sack, thank you for all... Guys, you guys, I can just keep moving. Angel Miss, thank you for the gifted memberships that you've been doing lately. And just thank you guys. Anybody that shares and watches it all, I can't show my gratitude enough. And I know I say it. Some people think I say it too much. But if I'm going to do something in excess, it's going to be me telling somebody thank you. Hey, Ricky. Hey, email me back. I sent you an email. I'm going to show you your pictures tomorrow. I showed Chris's tonight. But anyway, guys, that is the radiation storm. Okay? And that's why it happened. All right? And that's a big eruption. If that had come right at us, guys, we wouldn't be talking G2. We'd be talking G3, G4 again. We really would have. That's a big enough, power enough eruption that, you know, for them to give us over here a density reading of a hit right around 70 on a glancing blow, something that's not coming directly at us, has to tell you something. Okay? So I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, so I am going to go ahead and pop off, guys. Marfugel's going live. So is Trinity. I'm sorry I went a little long here tonight, guys. I really didn't expect to. I was trying to get out of here and get done with this. But what I want to leave you with you guys tonight is this. Okay? And I'm leaving you guys with this because I want people to understand that even through the bad, even through all the horrible stuff we go through, there's always something good to find. Okay? And that right there, look at that. If that don't put a smile on your face and leave you at all in some sort of way, I don't know why we're even here. Hey Aubrey, glad you're in here talking. Thank you, Trinity. Guys, get up. Hey, drop your link in there again, Trinity. Please. But yeah, guys, if that doesn't leave you in some sort of awe into what's going on, I don't know what to tell you. That's a sad way to live. That's what I'll say. Because it is. And I'm not trying to be mean. It just is. If you can't see the beauty in that, through all that negative that happened, we've seen transformer fires, we've seen, again, earthquakes, and everything else that was going on during all this, you know, and I like to think I was the one that was trying to keep everything grounded, because I don't want to overplay things. I'm not overplaying this by saying this right here is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And we've seen a lot of them. So this, in my opinion, is, and I'm, like I said, guys, I believe in God, and, I'm a Christian and stuff. This is God's way of saying, hey, look at this. Look at this. Even through all the bad, you can still see me. And there it is for you. And that's just what I'll say. But anyway, guys, I am going to go ahead and pop off. Please get over there and check out Trinity. I'm not sure what time Mark is going live. He's probably going live quick here. He typically does. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's live yet or not. I went longer than I thought I was going to. I apologize, guys. But with that being said, guys, prayers again. Epilepsy sucks, but yeah, thank you for the super chat. You didn't need a super chat to tell me that. Just know that too, okay? You can always email me, and thank you for showing your appreciation, but you don't have to do that. Just you can show your appreciation just by being here and talking in the chat and doing all that. Hey, Full Hope, I said hi to you in a little while ago. But Deep Quake Paul, thank you for always coming through. You always do, man. You're solid. Love it. Love it. Love it. You guys are just awesome. Ricky, I'll show your pictures tomorrow. Renee, see ya. See everybody later. All right, guys, I am going to pop off. Chris, thank you for the great photos. Remind us that, maybe there is just something way bigger than what we are doing, controlling what's going on. So, thank you, Don. I appreciate you. Stephanie, Becca, I wish I could just see here, think. Thank you, Seeking True, Trinity. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Sorry. I could keep going. You guys know I will. But anyway, guys, God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, you can, and you probably should, I hope you will, drink the Kool-Aid.